whatever she decides next. Has the ability to impact an entire country in ways no one could ever imagine.
Buying Team Namibia is a choice you make for us, not just for you. Join the 2.5 million strong team that grows stronger with every single Team Namibia purchase. Team Namibia. Together, our future is brighter.
Today marks exactly a week before we wrap Chapter 11 of 12. Trusting your week has been good thus far. Join me for the next 25 minutes as we unpack happenings within and beyond Namibian borders. This is Primetime News, the Thursday edition. Many thanks for having me. I'm Michael Madimba. In tonight's bulletin, the National Petroleum Corporation of Namibia NAMCOR Board of Directors are currently studying an investigation report on the internal maladministration contributing to the net loss of 700 million Namibian dollars. NAMCOR is currently facing financial hardship in managing its cash flow and stands with a debt of 1.9 billion Namibian dollars owed to more than 4 petroleum suppliers.
There were significant breaches in internal controls and governance systems in the organization that exacerbated the situation. So we take ownership and full accountability because the situation could have been averted, it could have been better effectively. So that's how we found ourselves in a situation where March 31, we're sitting with a loss of 700 million odd, and by the end of the financial year, 31 March, we had a creditors book of 2.5 billion and a significant working capital deficit. So a working capital deficit essentially means that you've got your creditors on one side, so these are the people that you owe money, and on this side you've got the people that owe you money and the cash that you have in bank and the stock that you have. So this particular stock and revenue from your debtors should be able to absorb your creditors book. Unfortunately, that was not the case, and we had a significant working capital deficit. And you need to remember that you need to service your suppliers at the given time. So we have different payment terms: 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. And if you default, it attracts interest. Now that interest eats up on your bottom line, so your net position effectively. So because of that working capital deficit, we began to default on our supplier commitments. And I'll tell you how the working capital deficit was compounded. Because we were so ambitious with the retail expansion strategy, management took a decision to use some of the working capital to service the construction and the capex associated with the retail expansion. And the strategy was working well for the past 3 years other than last year, past 4 years other than last year. The retail service stations were churning out profits. But because last year we bought expensive product, we pushed expensive product through the retail service stations, and as a result, these retail service stations were churning out losses. So on top of a working capital deficit, now you have an inability to service the money that you took to service your retail service stations. And on top of that, you had the situation where our strategy was really to capture market share, and we've done it quite well over the past few years, because in 2015 we had a revenue of 600 million, and it has grown exponentially tenfold to 7 billion as we see in the last financial year.
On to bilateral relations. Egypt's ambassador to Namibia, Wael Lotfi Batia, earlier today paid President Dr. Hage Geingob a courtesy call. Ambassador Patia briefed the head of state on the steps he has made to foster Namibia-Egypt bilateral relations.
Thank you. I'm honored to be here, to have met His Excellency the President. He's a great leader, and it was important to come before the season to present my season greetings, to extend the greetings from my President, Abdel Fattah Sisi, the President of the Arab Republic of Egypt, and of course, to brief His Excellency on the progress done during the 2 years I have been here in cooperation with the Namibian government and MERCO. Wonderful partners, wonderful officials. We have managed to do many things for our bilateral relation. We managed in May of this year to have a round of political consultations in Egypt, which was very important because a lot more is coming based on this important meeting. And of course, we were discussing ways to improve the relation, which is already amazing, to push it forward. We spoke about the history of our two countries, and the relation between Namibia and Egypt will go from strength to strength.
Moving on. Minister of Agriculture, Water and Land Reform Kailash Leitwine on Wednesday paid a visit to the B2 Gold Mines agricultural farm in the Otjiwazenjuba region. The purpose of the visit was to be apprised on developments at the farm. Currently, the 15-hectare B2 Gold Farm is harvesting wheat on 3 center pivots with an estimated harvest of 11 to 12 metric tons per hectare.
Well, today we are again at B2 Gold's farm side of it. It's the gold mine that has bought a farm, and they are doing intensive farming here. This is the second wheat crop that is currently harvested here. This is a special variety that Mr. Ford found through experimenting, and the yield, as it appears to be, is around about 12 tons a hectare. Now, if you compare that to our yields on green schemes, which are around about 4 if we are lucky, it is 3 times better. And that improvement in yield shows us that how you prepare the soil, how you dose fertilizer, how you irrigate, and what varieties you put in the soil is determining how well your weed yield would be. That's the first point. The second point is, of course, that with yields of between 10 and 12 tons, our goal of becoming self-sufficient is much closer. We have green schemes with a total surface area of 27,000 hectare. If you calculate 10 times 27,000, you are beyond, far beyond the 150,000 tons we need. So self-sufficiency is doable if we follow the right practice, if we do follow the modern agricultural practices where you have a double harvest on each piece of land, that is maize in summer, wheat in winter. You can have 2 yields in one summer and double your income. So I believe it is really doable, and I'm very happy to see here that we can show practically that it is done.
On to a rather unfortunate incident in northern Namibia. A 16-year-old boy was reportedly discovered dead in the Oshakati State Hospital psychiatric ward on Wednesday after another patient allegedly trampled on him. Namibian Police Force Community Affairs Officer Inspector Thomas Ayambo said the deceased was identified as Caro Ndakolo. Our correspondent in the Oshana region, Maria David, filed this report.
According to Ayambo, Ndakolo was allegedly found unconscious on the floor by a nurse while a fellow patient was jumping on his stomach. He said that the nurse went to look for manpower in order to remove the patient from the deceased since he was violent. After that, he was locked up in an isolation room, and that is when a doctor was called in, who declared the boy dead. Ayambo said the deceased was mentally challenged and was admitted to the Oshakati State Hospital on Monday after he was referred from the Onanjokwe State Hospital. He added that no bruises or any injuries were detected on the body of the deceased apart from a little blood that came from his mouth and nose. Ayambo said no inquest or case is open yet, pending to the post-mortem. Reporting for Primetime News, Jaconia Nehemia.
We extend our sympathies to the deceased family. Your top roundup is up next, followed by the business segment. Welcome to the Primetime Biz segment, your leading source for all things business related. Finance and Public Enterprises Minister Ipumbu Shimi noted public enterprises were established to solve developmental challenges and are essential to the national quest to achieve Vision 2030. Speaking at the second Public Enterprises Conference at Gross Barman on Wednesday, Shimi emphasized the importance of public enterprises despite challenges of poor performance and governance.
He said, "These are institutions that we have created specifically for specific development purposes. You are there to deliver a specific mandate and you are there to help achieve Vision 2030. Shimi told the gathering that his ministry has recognized an effort to shape the public enterprise sector. He cited the Public Enterprises Governance Act of 2019, which among others categorizes public enterprises into different categories. The 81 public enterprises are grouped into commercial, non-commercial public entities and as funds. Samuel, who is the CEO of the Lodgeworth Waterfront, assured Minister Shimi that the current crop of executives of public enterprises stand ready to support government efforts to improve governance and the overall performance of the sector. Reporting for Primetime News, Ishmael Mukvonda.
Now, the Oshana Regional Council will host its first ever street market from the 7th to the 9th of December. That is next month, saying the event will create a platform for socio-economic development. Council spokesperson Eli Ashikoto told Primetime News Wednesday the event will take place at the Heke settlement in the Ondangwa rural constituency.
Ashikoto said the Oshana Street Market Day is also aimed at celebrating the spirit of entrepreneurship and community collaboration. During the market, a wide array of products and services offered by local entrepreneurs and community members will be showcased. She said visitors can expect a bustling marketplace featuring a rich tapestry of artisanal crafts, delicious culinary delights, innovative inventions, and various unique products brought forth by talented individuals from the Oshana region. In addition to the community businesses, Ashikoto indicated that the event will offer a unique opportunity for attendees to engage with corporate stands set up to provide information on public services. It is hoped that participants will gain valuable insights and access a wealth of information regarding essential services offered by public entities, from healthcare and education to employment opportunities and social welfare programs, as they will have the opportunity to interact directly with representatives and learn about available resources. Reporting for Primetime News, Ishmael Mukvonda.
Your business and economics roundup is up next, but first, we turn our attention to the weather report. Welcome to Sport Planet, your source for all things sport in action. After an impressive start to the season in the first 2 rounds, the Oshana Regional Women League teams are gearing up for their upcoming fixtures come this weekend. The matches are scheduled to take place at the Oshakati Independent Stadium and the Valombola Vocational Training College Sports Grounds in Ongwediva. The league kicked off earlier this month following approval from the Namibian Football Association. It is understood FIFA provided funding to support each region. The league comprises 8 teams, namely Hope Football Club, Oshakati Superstars Football Club, Teenager Queens Football Club, Mighty Angels, Oshana Nampo Women's Football Club, Backpro Oshana Millennial Queens Football Club, Onelago Beauties Football Club and Viki Andimba Football Club. Keeping it local, President Dr. Hage Geingob has gratefully acknowledged the successful conclusion of the 9th edition of the Dr. Hage Geingob Football Cup that took place over last weekend. Expressing his gratitude on Wednesday, the president on his Facebook page noted that quote-unquote incredible and passionate fans turned out in tens of thousands at Independence Stadium to watch the Namibian Legions battle it out against the South African Legions, plus the main game which saw a Shoke Chula Chula Football Club beat African Stars Football Club a 0-0 in a high-quality and pulsating game of football. Stand by for your sports roundup. This is where we conclude for tonight. Many thanks for having been with us. A parting reminder that to stay informed of developments within and beyond our borders, and do follow the on-screen prompts to be subscribed to our channel. From myself, Michael Madimba, and my creative team behind the scenes, as cheers. Good night.